Hey guys, this is Vulcan Wolverine. It's 3 o'clock p.m. on Saturday, August 21st. If you notice, I've added some music. I'm going to see how this works. Um, Kind of keep me calm and I thought it can be enjoyable. I hope everybody's hanging in there. I know I want to give you guys a voice, and we did that. I did that defense video, and I've been saying that I wanted to do, video on the comments. So I was gonna go ahead and do that today. Also, I might mix it. I need to shave. Like I just haven't had the will to shave. I haven't had the will to shave lately. But also, there was another question. Somebody wanted me to talk about voice to skull, and which is microwave hearing. So I might kind of mix some of that in. Obviously, it's something that's targeting a lot of us. But let me read some of y'all's comments. Um, I mean, I'm like making it, but I'm stuck. I'm making it, surviving, trying to get through, trying to like do some things that are productive. But this is really tough. If you use defenses though, you get to that point, right? You get to like where it's not like I'm gonna die and I can't do anything. It's like, oh, I've got, voice to skull. I was thinking about it, and I have been overtly targeted where I know about it for 10 years. The 10-year anniversary, I think, was in March or April. The 10-year anniversary of when I started getting the high pitched sound in my ears, and I knew I was being targeted, right, in 2011. You know how many days that is? Days awake and moving around, being targeted in V2K, and then when I sleep at night, every night, so day and night, 3,650, like two now? 3,650, somewhere around there, days and nights of ongoing torture that never stops, right? And the only relief that I get, right? The point to that is the only relief that I get is attenuating it, right? I want to read some of these. I wonder if that music's going to be too loud. Let me turn it down just a little bit. It's on my bucket list to learn how to play violin. That's good, like that. Just a little bit right there. Okay, so the first comment comes from Christina Marie. I started to snap my fingers around my head and in both ears, and the AI was confused, following the sounds, threw off its patterning and frequencies. And this kind of thing is a pretty good idea. Um, Start using silicone earplugs. Listen to the inside of your body and start humming into the frequencies they're hitting you with. Now, for voice to skull, one of the greatest things, other than Dave Case's CD, I think um, keeps them from hooking in the automated stuff so well, and so they can't get that going well. But if when I hear my B2K and I'll hear kind of a voice that's just repeating everything in my inner voice and kind of switching up the phrasing like it's mocking me, and that'll be an automated AI thing, and I'll start humming, right, like Christina's saying. I'll start humming. I'll go in my inner voice, like I'm not humming out loud, but I'm humming in my inner voice, and it messes that up. It messes up the rhythm of the automated voice to skull. So you're going to want to do that. Or sometimes, I'm doing these things out loud, but I would just do them in my head, right? But when you do things in your head, you're still resonating. You're still, your vocal cords and your jaw and everything is still resonating those things that you're thinking in your inner thoughts. Or sometimes, like if the V2K is really bad, right, because it's just hitting you, right? Voices like mine right now. What are they saying? The woman's like, he's right, because like this morning I was just talking about how awful this is. um like I didn't know that a new person moved in there because I've just had what seems like noise campaigns, but like a nurse lives there now, and she like came out at the same time as me a couple of times, and I'm just like, and then some noises, like, right, and I'm like, how could they get a nurse to do this, and how could they get a nurse to like live by me and do this? So oh man, my memory's really bad. I am kind of doing my. I'm not worried about my brain. We're gonna get through this. We're gonna get through this, but it's like I want to get some break. We've had some breakthroughs, right? And I want to get us some individual breakthroughs, medical care, like backing down the contractors, right? The more authority that's working against this we can get, like, and get in front of it, maybe the contractors like get a little bit more worried about doing serious stuff to you, right? So I really want to work on that, but you know, boom, Afghanistan, right? It's like it's almost it's like everybody's being distracted, and I'm like, wow, the truth of this really big thing, right? Um, is going to just get lost in the chaos, and it's a big part of why the chaos is happening. I'm really tired right now. Let me say a prayer real quick, guys. In the name of the Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. In the name of Jesus Christ, dear Lord, just give me the words and help me to convey, um, information about this targeting and what can attenuate it good. We're going to keep looking for it, but please put more things right in our pathway to attenuate this, to buy us time, but to eventually stop this and get these evil people and evil technologies off of our brains and off of our nervous systems. Please, God, just give us strength. Thank you for our precious lives. In the name of the Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. I'm free. I may need to. There's some Mountain Dew. It's like I'm in that phase today. Like sometime. Oh, man, I'm going to get way. Okay, I'll just do it real quick. I'm in that phase today where it's like I don't want to sit and play video games. It's so boring, and I'm getting V2K, and I want to do something productive, but I feel like my brain's too tired to do a video, so I just got to do it. These, with doing the regular videos, if I really screw up and I'm just having a horrible day, and my attackers are just messing up my memory, I can just scrap the video. It's been a big relief because you're sitting on a 4-hour live stream being mind controlled and just triggered to no end, and just 4 hours of babbling, right? It's oof. I love the live streams. I love you guys, but it's been a lot less stressful knowing, like, if I get on a video and it's just like, oh, it sucks, and I'm just not making any sense, or I'm just like feeling bad, scrap that thing. I guess you can erase live streams and stuff like that, but okay, so also use rife frequencies on YouTube. It helps, yeah. Try the rife frequencies. I don't know much about binaural beats, but I know going along with the rife frequencies things, if you get Dave Case's CD with like violin music, or I was doing the Jurassic Park 10-hour theme, and then chronic pain hypnosis. There's like focus hypnosis. There's like depression hypnosis. I like those. I think you can trust most of those things, but I know that there probably is some stuff out there that's not too good for us. But I find some that it's like from pretty reputable channels that look like they're just independent and people who care about doing that stuff. But mixing these things really cuts in to what our attackers do, especially the hypnosis aspects at night. You want to, what I was telling my friend, because they were talking about, like, I'm gonna do a Faraday cage, and I'm gonna do a small one, and then I'm gonna do one for my room, right? And I'm probably not gonna be talking about Faraday cages in this video, but passive shielding does work. But even if you use passive shielding, you need to defend your vestibular system, your eyes and your ears, and then everything like the top of your head, your neck, and around here. That's the best thing. And then do passive shielding around you. But if you're not doing anything like close to your vestibular system, on your vestibular system or cranial nerves, then it's like that's going to be useless. They'll find a way to get to your body, right? So the closer you get with your defenses to your system, right, you can short circuit what they're doing. Like, so let me give you an example. Like, I used, well, not really an example, but kind of how this works. Use Dave Case's CD at night with some other things, and then I'll wake up, right? I'll take it off, and the ringing is bad, but it's not because it's just the normal thing. They're pushing more in, right? Because they've got to make up. Dave CD has cut them off, and so then they're trying to push in more directed energy. So like I've never found anything that can cut off their triangulation of you. Like for me, I've never found a thing where they can't target me with something, but you can break them off of your nervous system, right? You can interfere with the process of what they're doing, brain to body, right? And then with the external hits, you use grounding, right? So you use these different layered things. It really does attenuate well. But I want to say this. Let me read Oh, I might forget it. A lot of targeted individuals talk about this. There's electromagnetic fields, but there's also a bidirectional stream of energy. And in this bidirectional stream of energy, there's like V2K, the stuff they're using for remote neural manipulation, Lilly waves, photonic energy. So, like in this bidirectional stream, there can be many frequencies, right? And I don't feel this way. I've experienced this, and I don't know a lot about like specific frequency numbers, but I do know that V2K is a different frequency than what they're using for the remote neural manipulation. But it's tied into the same stream of energy that's going to your head, right? So you're blocking that. So like when I use Dave CD, it's blocking a lot of the remote neural manipulation. I can still hear the V2K because it's a little bit of a different frequency, right? I also, as crazy as it sounds, went to sleep in my closet for shelter from attacks, and it seems small enclosures make it harder for them to attack. Not enough airspace or frequencies. I'm not sure about that, but if it's working, yes. Yes. Okay, let's see. Anthony says, "Hi, Christina. Here's a way that I've blocked the electromagnetic energy and frequencies. It works well for me. Not perfect by any means, but it helps. Get some chamois. Yeah, some chamois. Wet them real good. Wring them out only a little, and put in a big Ziploc bag. The more, the better. Use the big ones. Since our body's about 60% water, they help absorb the electromagnetic hits. I took some poster board, cut it a little smaller than the big Ziploc, and wrapped several chamois around it to form a shield that stuck in 3 layers of wax. So that's a good, and you can add tinfoil as well. And it kind of reminds me, you can get the migraine cap. The migraine cap can go around your neck and over your head, right? I've got one that just kind of goes over my ears. I don't think it fits around my face, but it has ice in it. You keep it in your freezer, and then when you put that on, not only do the frequencies have to go through the hard ice, it's also cooling your cranial nerves and your brain, so the V2K and everything's not working as well because they're heating up and expanding brain tissue for this stuff to work. So if you use like turmeric and curcumin to stop inflammation or cooling to cool down your head, it's going to really help a lot. Or cool down your living space, right? And oh, this is something I did that I've never done. I don't know why. I don't know why it wasn't in my head. But yesterday, I was like, I want to turn my fan on. I was kind of getting hot, and I turned my fan on above me, and everything started feeling better. So it seems like my attackers are kind of coming in from right above me. I think that's why the sheriff's department took that apartment above me because they're shooting in and they have to shoot in an angle and they didn't want to hit anybody on top of me or have them in that electromagnetic beam stream of energy. What was I saying? What was I saying? Oh, fan, and it's like everything got better. So apparently, it's breaking up something that they're doing, like the stream of energy coming through that fan going, or maybe it's vibrations coming down on me or messing things up. But it's actually helping a lot. Thank you, thank you, thank you, God, thank you, God, in the name of Jesus Christ. I'm having a rough time. I mean, I'm making it. I'm good. I'm strong in spirit, but it's just like I'm stuck, and I just see like everybody. It's not like we're getting help. It's like everybody else in the world is getting stuck like us. So we're gaining a lot of other people that are also are starting to go through hell, but then how are people going to get help? Because more and more people are just being tortured. I mean, I guess I'm not going to say a joke like that, but it's like, I mean, the Taliban, we're trying to work with them or something as America and giving them 80 something billion dollars, left it there in weapons and with American citizens. Like we have no recourse. We have no recourse. We don't even have the recourse of the worst serial killers and baby killers that have gone to court. I was thinking about it this morning. I was like, with those big crimes, they want to bring in that really bad person and have an interrogation and a court hearing and everything like that, because it's like a big case and they all kind of get reputations on it. But with like a good American who doesn't do anything bad, just hide us and torture us, right? Eamon Empowered One says, and hey, Eamon, I've used materials simply to what you. I've used materials similar, sorry, to what you have, and it does work to a degree, enough to mess the signals up so I can fall asleep when needed. I use Swiss Shield. Okay, so Swiss Shield. I got stuff from Less EMF and Lambs.com. These are great, but check out Swiss Shield. Eamon says that Swiss Shield's good. Um, there are a lot of things. You got to get some layers around your head and your neck. Like that helps so much. It helps to just buffer it coming in, and then Dave Casey can mop up a lot easier, right? The process that they're trying to create from the brain to the inner ear, right? It should be called not. It shouldn't be called like voice to skull. It should not be called voice to skull. It should be called voice to inner ear. I mean, because it's really voice. It's really a um, like a microphone signal, and then it's modified into a microwave signal, and then it hits the brain, and then the brain transfers it to an audio signal in the inner ear. Right? Swiss Shield. Okay, Charm Exchange says, and hey Char, this is cool. I need to do some comment videos. I'm really tired today, but let's just do it. Let's just do it, and I'll just put it out. And I don't know why I'm so tired. Oh, I stopped. Maybe it's this. I'm kind of transitioning. I'm taking like one Neurontin a day, and then I've started to take one Neurontin every other day because the Neurontin like was good at first, but it started to make me feel like my brain was being suppressed, and then I think my attackers were just leaning into that, right? The kratom and the Neurontin. So I'm starting to take like a Neurontin every other day. It's making me feel more like myself and more resistant to like feeling like my brain and my thoughts are suppressed. But it's a change, right? It's a change for my nervous system because I've been using it a lot. I really want to get because I've been like, dude, I've been like just thinking like Captain America at the end of Endgame. My shield's broken, and I'm thinking the cavalry's gonna come. So I'm like, well, I'll just take Neurontin, take Kratom, make the videos, grind it because there's gonna be a swell, right? But I think that I've got to back off of everything that's like chemical shielding, or if I do chemical shielding, do one thing and then switch off of that thing, right? Because my attackers will get too used to it. Because we got a long way. Everyone in the world has a long way to go now, and I don't know how this is gonna go. Like I have no idea how this is gonna go. I know that this is gonna come out, like knowledge of this happening, but it's like, is the whole human population gonna be on the other side of it by that time? Eh, I'm not like we got good stuff going on, and I haven't been keeping it up with all the latest news like this week about targeting, about what's going on with us. But I doubt there was any because of Afghanistan. I doubt there was anything in the news about about uh, the government workers or anything or the legislation. I mean, but the legislation says helping American victims against neurological attacks. That's our foot in the door. You go into the sheriff's department to talk to them about that. You may not get help, but they can't throw you in a mental institution when you talk about that legislation in Havana syndrome. So I will be trying some stuff, but I've got to be careful, guys. My attackers are just messing me up, so it's harder to see all the angles. I do still see every angle. I'm just kidding. But I'm gonna do some stuff, but I want to be careful, make sure it's the most peaceful it is. Give the people that I'm going to talk to notice of what I'm doing, right? Like I'm gonna tell them like I'm gonna wear a GoPro camera and I want to have a meeting with you, the sheriff's department, about the Havana syndrome that I'm experiencing and people that I talk to are experiencing that I'm trying to help. And I want to get conversations on camera of what authority figures are saying about this. Now, are y'all still covering it up? Because we got a lot of people out there really hurting, really dying, right? That's it. Well, I'll go into that later. But okay. So Char McShane's and hey Char, it says hi Kyle, good to see you. Thank you for all your help and positivity. Thank you, Char. Thank you everybody. Thank you all for everybody who subscribes and watches my videos. Thank you so much. I'm saddened that I'm saddened that I can't do live streams anymore. I know a lot of you guys miss that, and I miss y'all. We'll do stuff like this. It has to be. It has to be, and I can get into a rhythm and put out more information. One live stream a week that's like 4 hours because we want to hang out, and then it's just like I'm dead, right? But I can make a video like every other day, blah blah blah. I can put out some good information and get things going. But people need to do live streams. They're good. They're great. Moderating calls is great. Like all those things are great, but there's complicated, right? That's the things that I just said aren't the only things. If that was the only thing, I'd still be live streams. We've got real complications with our society and not knowing who is trying to screw over people who are already being screwed over. That's and I'll just say it as simply as that. And there are a lot of people who are signed. They're like, I just think it's human. It's some people's human nature to be like, oh, it's so big. It doesn't even matter. Let's just go along with it. I can't imagine that. I can't imagine that because oh, I want to play all this thing from Assassin's Creed 3. It's great. Talking about comp hit. Okay, I'm getting off subject. Getting off subject. Let's get back. Let's get back. Okay, if you talk to Wayne Morris, please tell him we miss him. Sending love and light to the TI community. I had to get the double jab or I would have been fired. Oh my god. Yeah, I don't know. Like in the jab is going to it will help with the thing that thingy. And Wayne, I haven't talked to him in a while. I hope he's doing okay. He's like in the worst place in Australia. And I know he didn't. I don't think he wanted to compromise on talking about the jab or CV, right? He was just like, I'm gonna say, and that's a good thing, but it's like for me, it's like the targeting. I'll not talk about certain things on here, but the thing is, Wayne, brother, like we had differences. Me and Wayne had differences, and we got into a little thing. But it's like he's a targeted individual. He's a tough guy. He made a lot of good content. We just disagreed on like where to go with the. We had some little disagreements, right? But like what I would say, if you're listening to this, go to BitChute. BitChute, go to BitChute Odyssey, do like an OBS and do BitChute Odyssey and DLive. And you can say whatever you want. You can talk about all those things, especially since you're in Australia. You're like, I'm not sure where you are in Australia, but I know it's like really, really bad there. But he needs to get on BitChute. Maybe he already is. Maybe he already is. People, check it out. Like, go to BitChute. Wayne might be over there. He needs to be on BitChute because he doesn't want to. Like, I have to. Like, I'm getting more views now. I built up this channel over many years, and so it's getting more views on YouTube. And the targeting, getting something going. We're getting breakthroughs in that the dam is bursting, but then it's like there's all these other emergencies in the world for people to pay attention to, and that's on purpose. Like this targeting program, an angle of why the timing of the things that are going on now are going on, we're part of that. It's an angle, this experimentation, like covering things up, right? It's so bad. It's so bad, man. It's so bad, but we've got God on our side. And I want to tell you guys for real. I mean, there is a science to the chain of creation all the way up to God, and it is so good, and it wants to help us. We're connected to this universe, and then connected to God in such beautiful ways. This is horrible what's happening to us, But sometimes these horrible things, they push you, just go further. Because like I've been disillusioned by the targeting and hurt and just like things that you don't need to learn about what happens to your brain when it's microwave for 3 decades or whatever, maybe just 2 decades. um but whenever I get there and it's God, it's the Holy Spirit, it's God coming into my heart and He's saying, just go further. If you just go further, the truth of things is way more beautiful than any lies that we've set up in our lives. You just go further in good, right? Not go further in evil. Go further. We've got to keep going. We got to go further. Um, Okay, so Eamon says again, there are pillows that are made with silicone substance that can also work to a degree. Silicone. So silicone in the ears, and you get silicone, and I haven't done this, but people say it works great for V2K, and I think I need to just go ahead and try it. It'd be really cheap. I need to make a list. That's what I'm going to do. When I get off of this video, I am going to make a list of all the things that I need to do, and I'm going to force myself to do them. I've got to condition myself back into, like, I get things done, like I'm too hard on myself, right? Like I'm making videos and stuff like that, but like I can't have a balanced life. And you have to have a balanced life to have like a family and a career and those things. It's like, can we even, is that even something that I can hope for anymore with not just the targeting but what's going on in the world? Should we just be preparing and trying it? Like if I had money, I think I would just be building up a ton of food and moving out, and like joining a militia or getting some property just way far out. I'm pretty sure, like, my parents live in Florida. We've got these two condos. My aunt just is going to move to Florida and like sell her house, and then so I think I'm going to move out to Florida and try and find like a patch of area that's way far away from everybody. It's just you got to get away from the infrastructure, right? Because there's a weapons grid. If you guys saw Dabu, oh, I can't remember the channel's name, but he's great. He does the short videos and then he does live streams. I've never been to his live streams, but I watch the short videos. And they showed the new one of the new hurricanes going up the east, and it has this huge energy, like an energy surge through it, and it's recorded, right? It's recorded with telemetry and video and everything. I don't know video telemetry, but it's this big power surge. And so it's like using this weapons grid, right? Satellites, radar, other things, the Earth's electromagnetic frequencies, right? They're using the Earth's natural electromagnetic frequencies off of the atmosphere and stuff with satellites, and then directing it down, like sword of Damocles, right? This is the sword of Damocles, is what we're dealing with. Like, and they use that on us individually, but they don't use the power that they use to turn a hurricane or make a hurricane out in the ocean. And you notice it. Come on, let's just. Afghanistan happens, and there's 2 hurricanes like 2 days after to distract everybody. They've got to distract people from this. Then they 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 got to. And it's just, we know, right? We're targeted individuals. We're individual survivors of Zerzetsum programs where they're trying to just hit us with as much as possible, right? And we experience this being hit with like layers of stuff to where you're just like, dude, okay, I'm sorry, I'm not going to brag, but I'm pretty smart, right? And like some of this mind control, they've gone mirror inside of a mirror, right? This twisting and turning and tricking so much over so many years. I'm just like, they're just grinding my brain, I'm dealing with it. I don't want to be negative or anything. It's really bad. Like things going on in the world are really bad, and we've got to depend on God. And Jesus said the helper would come. They talked about these times, so we're ready. We're ready. God made us to live in these times. Let's just go through the information. Tanya says, mirrors, you have to angle them a lot. Just watch the veins. Okay, yeah. So if you use mirrors, watch yourself and don't cut yourself. I've cut myself before using mirrors. Mirrors are great. Mirrors can probably bounce photonic energy off of them and the directed energy. A little bit of the regular electromagnetic frequencies might come through a mirror, but the photonic energy that they use for mind control is really blocked by mirrors. That's why I got that helmet that kind of had the reflection. I didn't wear it. It was so uncomfortable. It seemed like it was kind of working the first night, but it was so uncomfortable. It just wasn't worth it because I'd put it on and it would kind of it push in towards my ears. And what my attackers can do, like they're doing it even now. If I have these headphones on, they'll put like a whatever electromagnetic field or whatever. It puts pressure on the ear, so it's really uncomfortable. It's not just the regular pressure of the thing. It's like an extra added like heat pressure that they put on, and that's what they were doing with that helmet. But what I was thinking, this is an idea that I had. So the mirrors do work, right? But I was thinking like if we could make something, get somebody to make like a rounded thing that you sleep under, maybe like 9 feet, right? And it could maybe one end could be closed, and it would just be like this, made out of mirror material with like mu metal under it or something like that. Like, and it would bend over your body when you slept, and you could just sleep in it, right? And that would at least keep some of the really, really hard hits out. I don't know how we'd get that made or anything. I was just thinking about that shape, and I've always been thinking about like something where you could fold a mirror around you because you got to get mirrors and like kind of stack them up and put them in certain directions. But they're doing a lot more creative stuff with mirrors, so I think we could find, and that's a really good idea. It's a very good idea. Like these ideas mixed with make sure that you're getting in your vestibular system and interfering with the process, right? With one of the processes, right? Because they do have, I'm sure they have certain directed energy that goes straight through to nanotechnology in your brain. That may be what I'm not blocking too well. I don't know. I shift things up and stuff like that, and I feel better because they will. It's like any little thing you change for a long time. They've networked for so long, right? So let's just take Neurontin, right? So I start taking Neurontin, and it makes me feel really good. I'm like my nervous system is just calmed down. I feel like I can think better. But after a couple of weeks, they already not my microwave attackers, but other contractors have hit so many people who take Neurontin, and they figured out protocols of like how to push it more, maybe to make your brain feel more, you know, um, to make it harder to think, right, and things like that. So they've networked this stuff for so long that any kind of pharmaceuticals, after a short amount of time, you know, and, yeah, I feel like the lorazepam they can't mess with. I'm taking zero point 0.5 of that a day, cutting down on like everything. It makes me feel a lot better, but it does make the high pitched noise a little bit worse. High pitched noise a little bit worse. My anger is a little bit worse. I'm not as calm. Like I'll yell at the V2K and stuff, and that's why I think I was yelling in here, like because it was so time. Like I went to the bathroom and it just so the noise campaigns were so timed, and I was just like saying like, hey, you need that. This is what's happening, right? And I explained what's happening, but people can just hear your voice like on the other side of the thing. They don't know what you're saying. I was just like sitting here and just talking kind of to my attackers and this person over there. Um, it's bad. It sounds so bad. It's such it just, but it's true. It's like I don't know. They apparently like I guess the guy that originally moved in there. I guess he was renting, and then this girl's renting now. And I've never like, I've never had her come out at the same time until today. Um, it's very very weird. Very weird. I just think about like how that's a dumb idea. Like if I was dangerous. I mean, I'm not, so it's cool. It's a good situation. Not a good situation, but I'm gonna find any other way, activism and creativity to deal with these things. But they don't tell these gang stalkers like this person's being microwave to death, and we're making them think that you're doing stuff to them, right? That's like totally not just betraying, but it's like sending gang stalkers into dangerous situations. Because we dangerous. I'm just joking. We're not dangerous. We're not going to do anything bad. but we are going to misbehave. We are going to have some civil disobedience. I don't know. I don't know about civil disobedience. My thoughts are pushing on authority because, like, when people understand, like, at a certain point, they understand somebody's being murdered, they can like ignore you, but a lot of people will go the other way, right? So it's just about finding the right people. And then networking those, like what kind of tests did we get, and then especially like a lot of individuals talking to lawyers, and I think we need to push on civil cases first, to get resources, right? This is all stuff that the timing has to be right, and the timing is not right. Like there's so many things going on in the world that it's just like, man, we can't get these things going. Nobody's going to pay attention to us. Senators are just like trying to weather the storm of what's happening in our country, um, or while they destroy us, the politicians and the military. White rage. So Tanya White. Okay, so we went through that one. I'm making that joke because like the general that completely screwed up the departure from Afghanistan, like his big thing was like critical race theory, and the biggest problem they're saying that Americans, like Donald Trump supporters and patriots, are a bigger problem than the Taliban, right? And they just gave $86 billion worth of weapons to them, so they can build an infrastructure and actually be the boogeyman that we need, that America and Israel need them to be, to all the people that they need to scare. Um, I was thinking about that movie where the person shot somebody, and then the guy goes, "I just wanted you to scare him," and the guy goes, "He looked pretty scared to me." I don't remember what that's from, but that's kind of like how they scare us now. That's how the top of the pyramid, they just murder, they just torture us. They look pretty scared. I mean, they're just going all the way. They're just going all the way. Not even just like psyops to scare you and false flag. Just real. We'll just torture you. That's scary. Joyce, hey Joyce. Joyce says hello, Kyle, and all TIs that I have been missing. Hope all are hanging on as good as possible. I hope you guys are too. Please God, just give you all strength. There's things that really work, and there's things where we can push. So we gotta hang on. I'm so worn out, guys, and I miss you guys too. I miss the live streams. I do occasionally. I'm like, God, I want to do a live stream. And I know maybe for some of you guys, you're like, why don't you just do live streams? That's stupid. Why? But you just, if you're saying that, you don't understand. So with TI things, it's a little bit different. Things are different, and they're a lot more like, it may just look like a YouTube video where we're hanging out, but there's actually like serious stuff going on. And I don't want to have to face more serious stuff than what I'm already dealing with, with the microwave attacks and gang stalking and trying to pretend like, oh, I just live in this community and everything's fine, and then like put myself in a situation, I don't, y'all understand. Real targeted individuals who've gone through this understand, and we need to start talking about COINTELPRO more. It's so easy for people to sign up to this stuff because they want half of the population screwing over the other half, right? They just want to get us all divided, and it's good money. I don't know. I want to know if it's like that. However much money is being used on your experimentation changes the rate that somebody's going to get paid to do specific stuff to you. Because then I'm screwed. Because I've been experimented on since I was a baby or 12, and it's a lot of very sophisticated brain experimentation. And I'm like, there's tons of money. It's too big to fail, right? Too big to fail. When my dad lost $25 million in the Enron scandal, right? He put all of his faith and his money in Enron, and like WorldCom lost millions of dollars. He wasn't too big to fail, right? The individual can be killed and crushed, but if the state is doing anything or the military is doing anything, it's too big to fail. Whoops, we got a bunch of people that are innocent and we're torturing them to death. Well, they're on the list. Like, I mean, that's what the guy on V2K says all the time. He's like, we got to do this. Like, he's even lately going like, sorry, man, we got to do this. Like, so I'm like, what are you talking about, man? It's all just a psyop, probably. Hey, Lion and Lamb. Lion and Lamb says, good to see you, Kyle. Lion Lamb, I wanted to read what you're going through. I hope that's okay. I just want people to know how serious this is and how much people are in pain out there. I know Shar says, yeah, you're talking about the tooth. I should have just grabbed it. I think that I don't know if I have any more implants in me, and it's a very real thing. So anybody listening, stop it, Kyle. I think both of those spots where implants were put into my body had to be removed from my body because they were tracking implants, but then they were just used to heat up and mutilate those parts. And that was back. I mean, that was even back before I knew I was targeted in 2008. Like I've told y'all the story about the foot of colon that was totally dissected from my large intestine and didn't heal up because and then when the surgery, it was that first dissection um, happened. My surgeon came in and he, like, I had met him before and he was just acting regular, right? And after the dissection of that first dissection of the colon, he came in and he was like looking at my family, like looking at me, and it was so weird. There was this feeling of him like going, what the fuck is going on here? Like that's what he was, his energy and his look, what the fuck is going on here? Because I think that he found an implant in that colon area. And he was like, what is this? Is a regular family. What is happening here? You know, or maybe he knew about those programs. A lot of them, all of them, stay quiet about it. You know. Yeah, so I want to read this Lion Limb. So Lion Limb says they are heating up my brain a lot and burning my ears. I think they gave me a mini stroke and I still have no feeling in part of my foot. I got an ice hat and seems to counteract the heat. When I figure a defense that works, they try a little more and then move on to something else. Yeah, I'm so sorry, Lion Lamb. Please God, protect Lion Lamb. Um, please do Dave Case's CD with the noise canceling hearing aids and just keep doing that. You will stop feeling heat, right? If I stop using Dave Case's CD and the noise canceling hearing aids, I'll feel a lot more external hits to my belly where it feels like a wide beam. So some of these things where they're heating up the body, it's through signals to the brain. And so you need to do the vestibular system thing to see, right? To see what's external and what they're doing through signals to the brain, because they're doing a lot of things that we might think are like, oh, that's a huge external beam and it's crushing me, but they're doing that. They're making your brain feel that. I know we've got to talk about these things, guys. There are external hits, but the brain is so powerful. The brain is so powerful. For us, we use it against this, but the brain is so powerful. And people's brains work in different ways, perceive things, differently. Could just be, well, they do. I mean, it's an external hit if they're affecting the brain, right? So still external, still external. But if you mess up the process, right? Messing up the process that they're creating in the vestibular system is the most successful that I've been in, like throwing them off. And then I add in my passive shielding and my grounding, and then supplements, and then cleansing with those main things, right? So you're like putting a tourniquet. I feel like Dave Case's CD and the noise canceling hearing aid, uh, when you're not using one, you're using the other. I feel like that's a huge tourniquet. I feel like those two things in the grounding really get a lot of grounding. Like I got 3 straps that are really dirty. I don't want to wash them because I feel like it's gonna mess them up. I go to earthing.com, and earthing.com has like one type of strap left. These were the best thing. These were the best thing they had, man. So I gotta find. I'm gonna maybe get some new grounding because I've been using this for so long, and then maybe like study it and really get, because grounding essential, essential. Dave Case CD essential, essential. Noise canceling hearing aids essential, essential. Right, and I would say that the passive shielding layers of something around your head, your ears, your neck, your front of your neck. If you can get kind of like when you sleep, maybe put something in front of your teeth, right? But those layers, it'll have to come through those layers, and then you can mess up the process with AKCD, the noise canceling hearing aid thing, right? Um, so Lion Lamb says ice pack and neodymium magnets work for the groin hits. Yeah. For me, gotta wear the scrubbies, right? I get the copper scrubbies and the metal scrubbies, and I put them in a Ziploc bag, and then I put them down my pants. For women, it's kind of different. Neodymium magnets. Yeah, if you put that down there, that can really help because they do external hits there. External hits, but it mixes in because what you got to realize they want to automate as much as they can certain things they're doing all the time, so then they can do other things, right? So they want to do things manually, put it in the system, and then move on to something else, so that they can just stack on more and more targeting to you, right? More and more protocols stuff. Yeah, Eamon says ice and water will block a wide spectrum of microwave. Some people would even put bottles of water around them, right? But I get in the bathtub, like I'll get in the bathtub and I'll put my head underwater and I can still hear the V2K and I can still hear the high pitched sound sometimes. So it's like that kind of water doesn't block it, but I bet you the external hits it can block very well. I bet you it's just like it'll block some of it and not other stuff, right? Of what's in that stream of energy, all the different frequencies in the bidirectional stream of energy, and then they do so much. Like I mean, they were like it's like I don't know how they do so much stuff, like how they have so many streams of energy, right? Because right now, can y'all hear that? Because it's a tapping on right above me, and no one's there. No one lives there, but it's a tapping right above me. Can y'all hear it or y'all can't hear it? They're doing it really loud. Can y'all hear that? They're responding and doing it. Let's see if y'all can, because you should be able to hear it if it's really there, but I don't think it is. Because they were doing it right over here. They keep doing it. It's very loud. You should be able to hear it. And they were doing it like right in that corner, like by the corner of the door where there's a stairwell and no one, right? And it's the same thing. The V2K, the voices still sound like they're right there, but the tapping right there. You see, this has gotten extensive. This is like twisting these frequent, like shifting it right in your inner ear. So you get a signal to your brain, and then it's going to your inner ear, and then it's like they can do these like whatever their systems do. It can make you hear some of the V2K from here, and then some of the V2K from there. But then you got real noise campaigns. You got people that they will get to noise, and then it's like, which one is it? Which one is it? Right? So that's why we have to be careful. Like even if you're like certain, learn more and be careful. Oh man, was my head cut off in this? My head's gonna be cut off in the video. That doesn't matter. I wear this weird beanie now, and I feel like that nerd Tim Pool, and you can tell him I said that. Um, okay, so Lion Lamb says they are murderers. The Bible tells us this. Yes, I agree. Revelation 9:21. Neither repented they of their murders, nor of their sorceries, nor of their fornication, nor of their thefts. Revelation 16:6. For they have shed the blood of saints and prophets, and thou hast given them blood to drink, for they are worthy. The waters are going to turn to blood. Yeah, those are great verses, Lion Lamb. It's like that Dave Matthews song. I want to always play that before videos. Sometimes there's blood in the water. Don't drink the water. But that's what's happening. Like in the system, it's like everything is done by incentive, right? And then they're incentivizing these awful actions, like purge-like actions, like torturing, gang stalking, and all this stuff. They're incentivized. People drink the water and there's blood in it, and then they turn evil. They turn more evil. It conditions them to be cruel and to not care and to just do things and like, I've just got to do this, right? We must never go that way because the world has gone that way so many times. Whatever. I mean, fighting against it, dying against it, I'm all for that. I gotta play all this thing from Assassin's 3. I got goosebumps. Like I hadn't gotten goosebumps. I've been taking Neurontin, and it's just like my nervous system feels like. But since I've been doing that, I got like these goosebumps last night watching it. And it's from the oh man, so good. Sorry to tease y'all about that. I'll play. I don't know if it's like copyrighted. Maybe I'll go over to to DLive or something, or BitChute. Erica says, thanks for all you do to help us target individuals. I'm a TI from the UK. Peace, love, and blessings to all here. Thank you, Erica. I hope you're doing okay. Doing okay. Make it through this. It's a different world. It's really loud. It could be John. I'm going to write a poem about me and John. Can y'all hear that? Can you guys hear that? Because it's really loud. It sounds like it's coming from. It sounds like somebody's hitting a hammer. Let's see if they'll do it. Hold on. Oh, they're not doing it anymore because they did it when I stopped. I think it's them because they were doing the exact same. But it literally sounds like somebody is standing there, hitting the floor. I think they're doing that on purpose because of all these shootings. I think they're like right now on this video, they're like doing it so that I talk about it because of all those the shootings and stuff like that. Do y'all hear that? It might actually be somebody. It sounds like it. See, that's the crap. That's the crappiest thing about it. Okay, let's move on. It's just, this is a casual video where I'm just reading y'all's comments. We can go about an hour. I don't think we have that many. Why don't you read Anthony? It's SCP. We'll just read them. We'll just read the rest of them. We're just chilling with some violin music. Do y'all like this? Let me know in the comments to the video about comments if you like the violin music, and I can do some different kinds of music. Maybe I can do like the Jurassic Park. Is that copyrighted though? You'll have to hear that. I'm gonna play this back. If you can hear it on the video, then it's definitely John. I'm gonna write a poem about me and that guy. He has gang stalked me so dedicatedly. Sometimes kind of waning off, but then waxing and waning and waxing. I gotta write it. I gotta put it in a poem. Okay, so it's SCP-049. They just keep doing it. Like, keep going. So you would hear it. Like, you would definitely hear it on here. If they're really doing it. I'm going to go back and we'll see. If I don't hear it, then it's definitely V2K. Okay, SCP... They just keep doing it. SCP-049. They make me twitch, and I've been gang stalked a long time, and I never had problems with weapons, but now I twitch a lot. So I feel like it could be something like a weapon. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know SCP. What I find is usually targeted individuals, I guess not, maybe not all of them, but what ringing in the ears, like pressure in the head. Like you ringing in the ears, pressure in the head, or voice to skull with microwave hearing, or you're feeling heat on your body. But there was a long period of time where I could have been remote neural manipulated just to feel like anxious and stuff, and I really didn't know, and like pain to my vagus nerve. So I'm not sure. It's like when they'll make it obvious at a certain point. They'll make it really obvious. Maybe you're not targeted with weapons. That'd be a great thing. I hope you're not targeted with weapons. I hope that it's just, something like some just nervousness or anxiousness about what's going on in society or something. I hope it's not weapons. I love this comment. I'm gonna read this. Mary, I appreciate this. Mary MCM says, you could have edited out the messy couch section. There are YouTube videos on how to do that. And I know how to do that because I've had to edit like interviews and stuff, and you can just do it when you're processing the video. But it was like a second of just moving some stuff, and it's kind of just part of this, part of me relaxing and not feeling like I have to be so professional all the time. But I'm not just thinking about it. I don't have a lot of energy, but I can do editing and stuff like that. I just think it's lame, though, how you can have some idiots on YouTube like Philip DeFranco, and he's sitting on a video like this, but he's editing and stuff like that. And he'll be talking, and then he'll go, oh, and then what was I gonna say? Oh man, and that, and he'll edit that part out, right? So his whole presentation is him like doing that the whole time, or just get, or like really long pauses. And I do a pretty good job, even with remote neural manipulation, on kind of keeping the like on. I keep talking, and I can present myself without even editing. I kind of pride myself on being able to kind of to flow like that. And I think people should maybe be rewarded a little bit more for that. But they aren't, because it's like we're just conditioned to whatever the big YouTube creators do. You know, it's choppy editing, and that's now what people they're more comfortable watching somebody. I'm going to make a parody video of YouTube editing. That's what I'm going to do for y'all. I think I'm also gonna just get on. I think we need to get on TikTok. Like every targeted individual, just get on TikTok and just make little TikToks going, I'm a targeted individual, or Havana syndrome is hitting U.S. citizens. TikTok goes out to like other countries and stuff like that. TikTok, 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 TikTok. You know. Okay, so but I appreciate that comment, and you know what, it was really messy. I had these pads that I sleep on, so I was a little bit embarrassed. I thought maybe somebody noticed. Probably nobody noticed, but now that I've said it, it's like doggy pads, and I just lay them down just in case my attackers make me urinate on myself, which they haven't been able to that much. They haven't been able to at all lately, really. But a long time ago, like 3 years ago, they did. I am now embarrassed and will continue to do the video. Okay, so Anthony, hey Anthony. Anthony says, this was taken from the excellent book On the Other Side of Life, Exploring the Phenomenon of Near-Death Experience, page 217 by Evelyn Elsier Bellarino, available for free on zlibrary.org. Man is continually being given the opportunity to develop cures for fatal illnesses, but not enough scientists and lay people are praying with fervor and performing acts of unconditional love to allow our needs to transpire. In fact, we are falling prey to our own laws. Just look at the handful of people who have successfully removed prayer from schools. Yeah, it's a system. The top of the pyramid, my mom told me when I was young in kind of a joking way, but it wasn't a joke. He who makes the gold makes the rules. He who has the incentive for people to do stuff makes the rules. The pyramid controls corporations, money, communications, and everything. And so what they do is they put levers in the system down. They have their hooks in the system down. People do their work for them, right? Because they're paid lots of money. Incentive, right? And so it all becomes evil work because the top of the people hate us, and all the work becomes destroying us and destroying themselves. But when you had America that was more independent, right? People had more incentive to be free and to help others to be more free because we lived in a free market capitalist society with a constitution, right? So it's like incentive drives people. And if they have incentive to do evil things, you won't have a lot of people. You'll have probably us on this video. We have good morals. We don't go past the moral line. But there are a lot of people out there that they'll do anything for money. And especially if they're told somebody is like a criminal or something like that and lied about, then they'll feel like they're doing something good. Even people are very easy to trick, you know, when they because they just kind of go along with whatever. And a lot of people don't think about morals or anything, less and less, right? Because levers are built into the system to make nihilism and cynicism attractive and look cool, right? Which I think it's completely Riri, right? Didn't want to say the word retarded, but I just did. Um, you know, being a good person, you know, and loving people and being compassionate, trying to be as much like as much as you can like Jesus Christ. That's cool. But when you talk about Jesus Christ, what has the system done? It's made that seem like, oh, that's a Jesus freak or whatever, right? These things that help people to love and to have better lives, they've been turned into like, that's nerdy, or that's like this or that. To be cynical and like, who cares, right? The number one thing the guy attacker's like, nobody gives a shit. He's like, nobody gives a shit. Like, he's like, I don't care all the time. He's like, I don't care. Like, I'm like, you know, you're like destroying America, like you're working against America. Like you're basically working, you're working with America's enemies to take America down. Is what I tell my microwave attacker. He's like, I don't care. I don't give a damn, right? Which I don't. I think it's a psyop. I think he really doesn't understand. Like he really thinks this is he's like America has to get these weapons and do training, research, and development because Russia and China are doing them, and this is just what my chain of command is doing right now. And he's like, this is just what I think about him. That he's just like they know better than me, and that's what they all have to do now. They can't question or anything. I'd like to hear some of the conversations that they have, like if they can have conversations with each other about what's going on in our country, in our respective countries, right? And say, what the hell are we doing? We just gave Afghanistan over to the Taliban, and they have $86 million in weapons, and we're watching some innocent American, go number two and hitting him in the head with microwaves and attacking and torturing his family like innocent Americans. My family, and I guarantee a lot of you guys can say this too. My family's not only like innocent, we're actually pretty badass. Like my mom was the first woman executive at Xerox. She was a Golden Girl at LSU. Like I don't know if any of y'all know what that is, but it's like the cheerleaders, but like the super cheerleaders that only like 10 girls get into when they're in college. She was like the salutatorian, I think, in college. In college, that poor woman, she deserves more. And she doesn't even, she thinks I'm not going to go into my family stuff, but she has done a great job as a mother. And she has helped me so much. And, she knows, she doesn't know. Because they're targeting her and they're messing with her thoughts. They're making her feel bad. They're doing this to my whole family. It's so weighty. It's such a serious thing that's treated like you're pieces of S that are mentally ill. Get out of our community. Get out of your head. Like my attackers are like, get out of here. They have taken they feel that they have my brain, right? Get out, die. We're in your brain and your body, and just die, right? And they're not in my brain and my body, but like with frequencies, right? They're watching what's going on in my brain, so they feel like in their psycho heads that this is our brain and body now. Die. We're doing a mission. You just need to die, right? Awful, awful stuff. Please, and Jesus help us. Just make that Holy Spirit just shine out and resonate. Let it flow to all of you guys and girls. I'm not going to say gals anymore. I'm sorry. I just can't find a good way to say men and women. Just men and women. Peeps and repeeps. And peeposauruses and a peeposaurus rex. Okay. Okay, so let me finish what he's saying. In fact, we are falling prey to our own laws. Just look at the handful of people who have successfully removed prayer from schools. We are not fighting back because we are too concerned with trying to make money, vanity, and just mere complacency. People are fighting back, though, Anthony. A lot of people are fighting back. You're just not seeing it on the mainstream news, but you are seeing a lot of the huge protests, right? In France, there's a lot of activism, but there's resistances too that the mainstream news doesn't mention, right? So it's building. People are seeing how ridiculous it is, and they're like, when are we gonna? So things are happening, but they're happening slowly because the mainstream media is taking over, and we've let it go so long. Bad things like 9/11 happened, and then everybody's just like, okay, that's fine. Let's go to Afghanistan. Let's do all this bad stuff. Let's just cover it up, right? And Patriot Act, and then we just nobody's done anything when we should have done something about it, right? And it's about power. In our society now, we live with might makes right. Like that is our society. No matter what you want society to be, might makes right. Because like I'm a smart guy, I can talk to my microwave attackers and be like, look, this is what y'all are doing, and you're probably going to be murdered after you do the microwave thing because they ain't going to keep you around. Like they may even just experiment on y'all. Y'all got weapons hooked into you. Just stuff like that. That's just obvious. Like that. There's no loyalty to them. Joe Biden's about to get ripped apart. Like Joe Biden is about to get attack dog style, maybe impeached. They don't have loyalty to these people in the cult who do whatever evil wants. They have no loyalty to them. They'll turn on them. That's what Satan does. And their master is Satan at the top of the pyramid, right? Um, and so their little their little dogs are like them. They take these bad deals where they're going to get screwed over. They're going to waste their time watching innocent Americans in their home, and like this one lady I swear I think she has like psychiatry experience on the microwave hearing, because she's the one who says certain stuff about like the state of, I'm not sure if it's a psyop, if they just put her in that, but it's like, I was like, how can you destroy somebody's brain? Like, they were angry. This is one of the things, when my dad almost died, I had these thoughts about it, and I was depressed about it, but there was a certain quality. Like, I don't want to sound egotistical, a poetic quality about my sadness about my father. It was very sad. There's a quality to our thoughts, an energy to our thoughts, right? This made my attackers angry. So they want to like, and that's not the only thing, right? But they wanted to kind of mess with the brain so that you're not, so that they don't have to see it, right? So that, but they're not invited into your brain in the first place. So it's just involuntary experimentation. But these people that are doing it are so confused about what their role is. They don't know if they're a soldier, a murderer, experiment. They're confused, right? I'm confused with what they're doing because they're mixing it in with gang stalking and all this stuff. It's mainly training, research and development, experimentation, to do operational stuff. That's what you can just say simply, and mapping the brain, right? Teaching AI how to think. Like, there's so much stuff involved. There's so much stuff involved. But it seems like it's just like, oh, well, they're like the microwave attackers. They're murderers. They're experimenters. They're so like they said they're scientist soldiers, right? Give me a break. Like, give me a break. I'm more of a soldier, and you guys, you men and women, you peeps and peepettes. There it goes. You peep and peepettes are more soldiers than these people will ever be. The people in those uniforms that sit behind computer screens. Now, I'm not going to say there aren't like Navy SEALs and badasses who do real stuff. Even like some CIA agents who are tasked with getting bad guys, they're pretty cool. The CIA agents that aren't turned on the citizenry. What was I saying? I forgot what I was saying. Let me finish this. Okay. But we are not fighting back because we are too concerned with trying to make money, vanity, and just mere complacency. I think vanity is a thing. I think people are like, because I've stepped up being a targeted individual, it gets embarrassing sometimes, right? It's not you don't want to be talking about these things that your attackers are doing to your brain, but we must, right? We must do it, and it's not. Sometimes it's not cool, but there's no choice. There's no other way to go. So I think it's pretty cool to do what you have to do, right? What you have to do. And there's been some times where I'm like, man, I want to erase some of those videos, like how I felt, like the mutilation of my face, like why was I still? But it's just like, nope, I did the right thing. You guys, okay, I'm not gonna go into that. No, I'm not gonna go into that. Okay. Despite the millions of people belonging to faith-based churches, only a few are truly praying and carrying out unconditional acts of love and kindness to balance the opposite forces. That's good. Just one person praying unconditionally and suffering willingly can raise the level of humanity forever and thus give us the courage to regain our losses. All one has to do is just believe. Awesome, Anthony. So that's from On the Other Side of Life, Exploring the Phenomena of Near-Death Experience. You learn something when you come back from those. I've had two. Two where I didn't go to the hospital, where it just like I saw my grandfather and my Uncle Brian, which my Uncle Brian, his name is spelled the same as my brother Brian, and my Uncle Brian was my dad's younger brother, and he was 18. My Uncle Brian was 18, and he worked on power lines, and he got electrocuted and died at the age of 18. He looked a lot like my grandpa. My dad looks a little bit more like my grandma. And I see my Uncle Brian. I never knew him. Like, I was born way after his death. I see I don't even have him in my mind, right? but I had a near-death experience on my grandpa and my uncle Brian. They were like the two first people that I guess I thought of about death, right, when I was younger. And it's very strange that, like, my uncle Brian died on working on a power line, and I'm getting hit by electromagnetic frequencies. I'm the younger brother. I don't, I can't imagine how my brother's not getting targeted if the whole family's getting targeted. That's one of the worst things because I know my dad is. Like I know my dad is, but I'm like, and then my mom, she just, ugh, it's really bad. Like I know we've got to stay upbeat. I know that we believe in God, right? And that He's got this. But when other people are suffering, and it's like I don't even know, can I do something for them? It's like I know how much I'm suffering, and I know what I have to do, right? But then it's like, what's somebody else that people that I love are going through, and it just like, are they, how bad are they hurting? Because people don't want to talk about it. And I understand that. It's like I understand that my dad is like that a lot. He doesn't want to complain at all. But it's like he needs to complain a little bit for the people that love him so we can work with it. God's encourager. Love that. But you need to capitalize God right there. God's encourager. I'm told by an engineer to blow your horn to change the frequency while traveling in your car. Also, thick leather cover will make bounce the signal off. Wear earplugs will block some of the do. Yeah, leather's good. Like if you can get a leather hat that goes around your head, that's great. That's really good. Leather clothing, very, very good idea. It can block a lot of the microwave heat. So Mitchell, hey Mitchell, Mitchell says, can you please pin a comment with Dave Case's CD and the sound blocking earplugs? What I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna put it in the description. The website to go get Dave Case CD, and you need to get the KTX KTX Pro, but it has those instructions on the website, right? And then the sound blocking earplugs, I'll put the Amazon page where the Brits go, the exact ones that I get. And I think they're like $70 a piece, so I think it's $140 for both of them. It is the best 140. If you're getting the ring in your ears and the headaches and pressure in your head and then pain throughout your body, heart palpitations from remote neural manipulation, they're making you go pee, making you have to go use the bathroom and stuff like that. You know, the $140 is it's worth like $20,000. It's worth so much more, to make your life a little bit more normal. And when I forget to put them in, the high pitched sound gets really, really bad, and I'll get real anxious, right? I'll feel just like it's not regular anxiety. It's like my fight or flight has been turned up to 100, and I'm just like I can't. And it's artificial. It's something my attackers are doing to my brain. What was my point on that? I forgot my point. But yes, I'm going to put those in the description. And just go to my playlist. Go to my defense playlist. Oh, I need to put that new defensive video and this in the defense playlist. Just go to my playlist and it'll just be like defense. Just say defense. So Janelle says, what is Dave Case CD? I'm going to put that website in the description, and then you can see if you're targeted, you need to get that. You need to just get it and try it. You have nothing to lose on that. I've used it for a long time. It's only helped. It hasn't done anything, negative. Okay, I don't know. I think we've read a bunch. Let's see. Tanya. Hey, Tanya. Tanya says, Kyle, we miss you heaps. Great to see you today, mate. Sending love hugs to all beautiful targeted individuals around the world. Love Tanya in Australia. I hope you're doing good in Australia, Tanya. I miss you guys too. It's just helped me with if I wasn't mind controlled, so I miss you guys too on the live streams. But maybe in a couple of months if things change, we've got to deal with some things before I put myself in certain situations. I'm not gonna do things, Nah, I'm not going to get into all that. I don't want to get into that. That starts getting sticky, We need to go through what's going on, and we need to, like, the truth protocol. Like, nobody, like, some guy was, whatever. We need to do things about that, or I'm not gonna, like, I'll do, like, I can read those comments and stuff, but it's like when you're being mind controlled really bad. Brian is right, correct in theory. There are agent provocateurs. There are informants turned agent provocateurs. They can just sign up online. It's like it's a joke. Like, it's a joke, and they think that they're just like saying something street theater, but your attackers will use that and damage your brain. They'll keep looping that electromagnetic thing or that trigger, and it hurts people. So these people that are just signing up and maybe making some chicken scratch supplemental cash, they're damaging and injuring people's brains, like innocent people, like, and psychologically traumatizing them and harassing them, especially after, like, 10 years, 20 years of torture, where the person is like been traumatized so bad, and then people are just like, oh, that's a weirdo, nervous little weirdo, like, screw them, right? Now, I'm sure we all go through that. You feel like you're not at death's door. Yeah, it does, sometimes it's pretty bad, and then it's like, oh, that's out of sight, out of mind. So that's just natural, right? Like, even in the target individual community, we get treated like Brian. Some people are like, Brian's an asshole, right? He's being targeted extremely bad, like, and his brain's being messed with a bunch. So it's like, but we still judge each other for our behavior, right? Because millions of years, whatever you do is just you. It doesn't matter about the mind control that can change all this stuff and make you feel completely different, right? That doesn't count, even in our group sometimes, right? I think that, like, I try and account for that when people are going through. A lot of people do, but some people aren't experiencing it. They're experiencing a different form of targeting or whatever, or different form of, and so it's not great to. I don't know what my point was there, but I did say words. They did come out of my mouth, and then I'm just gonna let them go. Okay. And I miss you too, Tanya. And tell your mom hi. Anthony says, sorry, made a mistake. Okay, that's okay. Wait, what was it? The name of the book that quote was from is this: Into the Light, Real Life Stories About Angelic Visits, Visions of the Afterlife, and Other Pre-Death Experiences. Okay. So Nancy, hey Nancy says, I just watched your video. Excellent. Glad you got your grandma's car. The defenses you mentioned, I have them all and use them every day. The only thing I'd like to add is keep Dramamine. Okay, keep Dramamine on hand if you get vertigo. That's a great idea. That's a great idea. That's great chemical shielding for the vertigo that they can create. I feel like Dave CD helps a bit with that. The headgear helps a bit. I get more dizzy when I don't have those layers on, or this. Like, if I didn't have this hat on, I would get a little bit more dizzy. So maybe try the Dramamine's good, but maybe try something like this, because a lot of the nausea, well, it's remote neural manipulation, but I think they can do it where they're stimulating cranial nerves and making nauseous. Some of the passive stuff does kind of help with, like, just feeling like shaky or nauseous. But of course, I use it with Dave Case's CD and the noise canceling hearing aids. It's a beautiful combination. When you're not using one, you're using the other, and you can just kind of, it can be a little adventure for some of you guys, right? You got to try and make things like, I know the world is dark, but there's still joy and strength in the hearts of good men and women, and a great God that owns this universe and every universe outside of it. He's given me signs and signs again that he's here, like that he's here with me, that we're not alone, that it's a magical universe, this universe, and then there's what's in existence, and then all the way up to God, and it's incredible. That's the sad thing. There's this quote from Dante's Inferno. Oh, I wish I had it. I might look it up. But I read Dante's Inferno when I was younger, and then I played the video game is like a top 10, one of my top 10 favorite video games. It's not even that great of a video game, but I just love it. It is Dante's, and I played it a lot when I was Target, right? Because we're going through the nine levels of hell right here. Um, and it says there's a quote that says, "The worst things about hell are not the bad things; it's remembering the happy times, right? And being in hell, right? So that's the hardest thing for me. There's so much beautiful world out there, so much that I want to help people with. I'm helping, like we help each other, right? As target individuals, we can still do things even though we don't have the what we want, right? God's putting us on a path. God's bringing us down it. And I know, and that's kind of what I'm like, man. I'm missing out. I've missed so much time, right? And I don't know if I want to go into too much like real personal stuff, but you know, I'm just trusting God. I'm trusting God. Things can flip over where your perception can be a lot better, and then it's like everything seems like it's going right. I've had times where it's just like everything just seems like it's going wrong. But what you can peg that down to is you're sick, you're being targeted, your brain's not working good because like people are, tapping into your vestibular system and hitting you with external microwaves and gang stalking. That, dude, at first the gang stalking didn't affect me. It's weird with me, like my attackers looking at me while I was naked or anything at the beginning was this huge joke, right? I didn't feel any kind of condition like shame or any kind of weirdness. Like I was just like, oh, y'all are watching me. Oh, you want to see something cool? And then the gang stalking, I just be like, man, it's so stupid, right? I got pictures of the one light vehicles, and I've gotten gang stalking on tape, but it's just weird. It's gotten harder to deal with as I've gone along, which seems like it'd be some things have gotten easier to deal with, and some things feel weirder because it's just been going on for so long, right? It's kind of hard to explain because these things that people have never been tortured for these long periods of time, right? Except until like 1960, 1950, right? For their whole lives. And then people have ignored it and stuff because obviously that can't be happening. But now we're going to get to a place where people have to understand that people have been tortured for their whole lives, right? A child, like, could be, their brain could be latched onto in the womb, and then they come out with the remote neural monitoring, remote neural manipulation still attached to the baby, to the kid as it grows up, and this kid's whole brain is just modified and conditioned into what they want. And they could be doing this millions of times and nobody knows, right? And they're doing it to us. Um, Ignorance must be bliss, right? Like the people who don't know about. And I guess they can't be ignorant anymore. There's stuff hitting us all in the face now. Nobody can be ignorant, so nobody's living in bliss. Ha ha ha! I'm just joking. You know, we can adapt. God has made us so we're so tough and we're so strong in so many ways, but we got some soft parts, right? I don't. God, but see, that's the thing. God predicted everything. I even feel like I can push out in certain ways with my brain, with the electromagnetic field of my brain. Like if they're really encroaching and the V2K is getting annoying, it's like I can't explain this, but I can like push out the field, like just like pushing out against what they're doing. Using all my defenses and stuff like that, and it creates this kind of homeostasis where what they're doing doesn't bother me because I'm pushing outward, and it's my brain that my brain metabolism is changing. Our brain energy metabolism is changing because they're messing with that. Human beings are so magnificent. God created us, just awesome, and whatever does not kill us only makes us stranger, only makes us stronger. Okay, so Target, it says, sorry, off topic. On sending a letter, I had a state senator help me get a foreclosure and our home being sold all reversed back in 2009, which is the possible reason this nightmare started. Yeah, yeah, it could be something like that, totally. Just somebody who, like, had a state senator help me get a foreclosure and our home being sold all reversed back in 2009. which is possible reason for this nightmare start. But on the letter, I made sure each Republican and Democrat wouldn't miss who I CC the letter to. Political pressure, it seemed to work. Even if you don't send to everyone, go ahead and on the CC list, make a full list. Mix in some agencies. This is one thing, but key is just like Kyle did it. He followed through and got it done. Yeah, we just got to be writing, everybody. Just get a standardized thing. Somebody asked me for a standardized letter. Who asked me for a standardized letter? Like just a one of my TI friends, he wanted a standardized letter. I don't. Mine's not that great. I wanna kind of make it better. I'm gonna start like writing it's so hard. I have no motivation. So ADD. Um, so I'm not gonna tell y'all what I'm gonna do until I do it, and then when I do it, then you know when I do it that I do it. Right, Pepper? Right, Pepper? Right, Pepper? Right, Pepper? Okay, guys. Okay, so Obi-Wan Hashobi, love that name. I wish I had money for some of this stuff. Not doing well financially. I'm worried about choosing the wrong thing for my individual circumstances and wasting money. My top interest is the hearing aids, though. Yeah, I would definitely get those because you can like use them anywhere you go, and it's not like a big. If you have hearing aids and you're like around people that don't know what's going on to you, just go like I have tinnitus and I have to have these special hearing aids, right? It's worth it. And Obi-Wan Kenobi, maybe you already have Dave Case CD, but that's like $15. You gotta get that. You gotta get that. And the 140 or so dollars that the hearing aids cost, they're totally worth it. I didn't get to talk about. I went through y'all's comments. I didn't get to talk about a lot of the things that I want to do. I kind of spoke on them a little bit, but I'm having money troubles too. So I really want to get this thing, the entrainment device, changing your brain's resonance with music, chemical shielding. And I'm not a doctor, and I'm not prescribing anything to anybody, but changing the resonance at which your brain is working at really does help, right? And there's this entrainment device where you can up the resonance of your brain. Now, I think that you'd need other defenses with that. I don't think it just work on its own, but I can see it because it's all about the brain. The brain is the centerpiece to what your attackers are doing. Even if it feels like you're just getting external hits, the brain is the centerpiece. And what they're trying to do, they torture the body and everything, changes the resonance of the brain. So we gotta think positive thoughts, get with our faith. It's tough, man, because I got a lot of artificial like injection of negative things, right? Um, but we have to do it. We have to get our brain resonance up. And so I'm thinking, well, my targeting is pretty tough on the brain, pretty tough on the body too. But like the brain, my body, I'm like, I don't want to say I'm like Wolverine. We're Wolverines here. If they were torturing just my body, screw them. There'd be no problem here. There'd be no problem for me. Like I'd be, right as rain. Not right as rain. The physical torture would suck, but when you have your facilities, you can be a lot tougher. You can be a lot tougher, mentally tougher, right there, hitting the brain and hitting the heart and hitting the psyops, emotions. But it's not just like, oh, you hurt my feelings. It's like we're conditioning your brain with a certain emotion throughout decades, right? And even the strongest brain is going to kind of go, but then pop back like a rubber band. Neuroplasticity. You know what I'm saying? Okay. Pepper, would you wake up? Pepper. 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 Okay, so Obi-Wan Kenobi says, be careful with the iron supplements. You can OD on iron. Use only as directed on the bottle or by the doctor. Also, vitamin C is needed to aid in iron absorption. Ooh, I'm going to take some iron and vitamin C today. There are some products that have vitamin C included with iron, but I used to take it with a glass of orange juice. That's great. Thank you, Obi-Wan Kenobi, because I have anemia. Like, I haven't gotten diagnosed with anemia, but I feel like I'm tired, and then I'll take an iron, like a one little tablet of iron, and I feel more energy. I feel like more natural energy, right? Because the microwaves are hurting our calcium channels and our ferrite channels, iron. So our iron channels and our calcium channels. So we need to be taking calcium and iron. I didn't know that vitamin C aided iron absorption. Okay, guys, I just wanted to go through y'all's comments. I'll talk about some of the things. There are some things I'm looking at for defenses, and I'm gonna be getting on the horse in a big way. I'll admit, like Turtle Days was saying it. With Tribal Turtle Nation, said she had some problems with Neurontin, and at the beginning, it was good. You know, at the beginning, it really helped, but then it's just you keep taking it, and with your attackers, it's like I don't know if it seems like my attackers can take anything and they can make it. We know this, right? They can make it not work, or they can make it work too much, right? And if Neurontin's working too much, it's like, oh man, my brain feels really suppressed. Um, so we're getting there. We're moving on up. I love you guys. We're not moving. Things are pretty bad, but let's just trust in God. Oh, an hour and 30 minutes. That's cool. We'll do some of these where I just read y'all's comments, and maybe some of you guys that like the live streams, y'all will like this. I think it'll be cool. All right. I love you guys. Love you guys. I'll be back soon. Just God bless you and God protect your families. Prepare, right? Pray, prepare, trust God. Um, I keep thinking, like, I guess Florida's a good move. I'm just like, America really saw, like, and I don't want to talk too much about the new immigration problems, but that's going to be really bad. We might be living with some all right, guys. I love y'all, and I'll see y'all, and I'll see y'all in the next one. I love you guys. Just hang in there and be strong. I'll be coming out with some more information. Hopefully, maybe some stuff about like directed energy weapons will come out of people talking about what they were doing in Afghanistan and stuff. Stuff that's around the corner that we maybe don't see, right? And there's some big things happening, right? All right, I love you guys, and I'll see you on the next.